my first thing of the day. So
starting out with season 3, obviously you set yourself up for some very interesting things to do moving forward. What are your thoughts about where you want them to be when we start, when we come back, what we see when you come back, and what were some of your thoughts on how to arc out this season?
Well, we start right where we left off, so there's no time jump this season. Obviously, we set up what the big problem that they're facing for the season is in the finale, and that is something that right away they're going to have to deal with. Clarke, it's a little bit of on some level, like a Noah's Ark story, where Noah knew that the world was going to end, and who was he going to tell? And when the world found out, they wanted the Ark for themselves, and so we're going to lean into that metaphor a little bit. And of course, we're not going to forget anything that happened before. I mean, I like to make sure that we don't drop threads as much as possible. We did a lot of things, obviously, last season that were intense, and they're going to follow these characters in their emotional lives forever in many ways. So, yeah.
So one of the things I loved about season 3 was seeing the delinquents get back together and working together and all that. Are we going to see more of that?
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely last season, I think we pushed them apart. I think we tested the limits of how far we could stretch the universe, and separate people. And the show is ultimately about the delinquents, which isn't what I call them, but I gather that's what people call them, which I think is definitely appropriate. And so, I mean, the other truth is that this mission, this monster, this thing that they're dealing with now, they can't just all move in one direction together and handle it one at a time. There is definitely we got to divide and conquer and figure out the best way to solve this thing. If there is a solution, there may not be. Generally, our MO is we say we're going to do something and we do it. There's no 11th hour saves, so I feel like that's probably something people can anticipate. So that's a long way of me saying that there will be a fracturing, but we're going to, pay a lot of attention to the orchestration of who's on what missions, if that makes sense. So
obviously, last year, Clarke's relationship was a big issue. How do you want to set that up in the next season? Is she going to take time to herself, or do you want to set up a new romance for her?
She's had 2 loves in 3 seasons, and they didn't end very well, either one of them, tragically, and she's still nursing a broken heart and lost her soulmate in Lexa. So she's not really ready to jump into another relationship. But at the end of the day, she's 18. She's an 18-year-old child still in many ways, and so she will move on, for sure. And I can say, as the voice of Lexa, the person who created that character, that Lexa would want her to. Lexa would want Clarke to be happy again, as I think we all would want, the people who we love to be able to not forget us, but move on and find happiness. And so she'll be with somebody eventually. I'm not going to say who, I'm not going to say when, I'm not going to say whether it's a guy or a girl, but she's bi, and that really means that it can be anybody. I mean, it's one of the great things creatively with having a bisexual character. Is when we look at the board in the room where all their faces are, she could be with almost anybody on that board. I mean, Abby would be a little weird, but everybody else is fair game, really. Not to say she'll be with everybody else. Anyway, I think I should stop there. I'm going to stop there. Okay.
You said that there's going to be interesting pairings of people out on their missions, and so obviously you can explore. You've got a large ensemble. You can explore with that, pairing maybe some characters that haven't had much time with each other. Have you thought about that? Already started arcing out some keys as to what you guys are already enjoying
about who's together,
or maybe some unexpected pairings that you get to explore this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil too much because it takes a while for the various sort of threads of those missions to sort of happen.
Okay.
But one of the things I love is the cast is so big and they are so good, and they don't get a lot of time together. Some of these actors have never worked together.
Right.
Other than in passing, and so we're going to try to find some interesting pairings, as you put it. They're more than pairings really, because they're like teams in a way, like multiple adventure squads in season 4. Thank you. Well, our team in Vancouver is so amazing. They do so much with so little. Not that we aren't, working with a very generous studio, because we are. But we're trying. I'm always trying to push. I push everybody so hard, and they all, including myself, to make it look real, to make it look epic. I'm always looking for scope, and that's one of the shooting in the woods. By the way, like Mother Nature is a pretty good set designer, and so that's been a huge advantage for us. We camped in the GVRD, which is the forest up there, and we own it really. I mean, like we have the Ark is on the ground there. The dropship is still there. Like we've built these things in the woods, and it's amazing. You go there, it's like a movie set. And so I walk on the set still. I'm going up in a few days actually to we start shooting the premiere, and it's always mind blowing what they do. And wait till you guys see what they're building for this season. So thank you for saying that. They deserve all the credit. The art department's amazing. So. Thank you.